You've stumbled into another nostalgic void.
Hey guys, it's me. Welcome back to What an Oddcast, episode 295. Woo! You're getting me, just Jokey Pants this episode, because the guys, it was Heather's birthday, Anthony's wife, so they went out to go celebrate. So you get me for an undetermined amount of time, because I don't really know how long I'm gonna make this, and and this is more of a video special because I'm gonna try to do some extra stuff because I didn't know if what I had to talk about would last me very long. Isn't it fun? Isn't it great? Doesn't it make you want to start a podcast when you hear somebody open up and they're like, "We've been doing this for almost 7 years. I have no idea what I'm doing, and I don't know. Hopefully you like it." Isn't it fucking fun? Isn't my life fucking fun? Take that, YouTube censors. There's a lot of beeps in there. Ha ha! So anyway, welcome to 295. Jokey Pants talks at you for whatever the hell amount of time I decide. I don't really have a plan. I'm just kind of going for it because, it. And you're here, so it. A lot of beeps coming in, isn't it? Is it driving you nuts yet? I hope it's driving you nuts. Anyway, before we get into it, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, or whatever the hell people it is say on YouTube. We're not big enough for me to really pay attention too much. I appreciate all of you that do listen, and if you can hit the like button, if that helps, great. Leave comments, great. If you're listening on a podcast network or watching the video version at a podcast network, thank you. Leave a comment and subscribe, rate us. Anything helps. Because going into that, go on over to w.gg. We got sponsorships up the That's right, we got sponsorships with w.gg. And currently we're talking with them about possibly doing a flavor collab thing. We just need to, we need to be a sponsor a little bit longer. So if you can go over to w.gg, use code Oddcast, I'll have it in the description, you save yourself 10%. And they're always running a sale, so 25%? Nah, dog, you're saving 35% with us. And, go get that. Why not? Why not just try it? Me and Mike tried it. We enjoyed it. We thought it was actually pretty good. It was not anything we thought. We thought it'd be like grainy and nasty. Actually, super great. It was actually pretty good shit. So go check them out. And thank you to W for sponsoring. Anyway, going on with this video. I have a tier list open. I figured I'd do this and talk about some stuff. Because there's so much stuff that happened and we weren't recording this week. And it's driving me nuts. So after we recorded, the Pope died. And I want to just say, mention it now, the Oddcast curse. We did not kill the Pope. Please, if there is a God, we didn't kill him. We didn't talk about him. It wasn't us. For the love, please no. I'm too young. I'm not pretty, but I'm too young. Please, for the love of God. Also, for Metalhead news, I'll put it right here in the beginning so you can just skip right past it because I know you're gonna. But guess what? This is a Jokey Pants episode, so what are you gonna do about it? You can't get rid of me. Sorry, I had a little crazy moment there. I'm drinking Mountain Dew Code Red. And I actually haven't drank soda in a while, so look out, world! But no, so in Metalhead news, Joey Jordison, for those of you who know who Joey was the original founding member for Slipknot. He was an amazing drummer, extremely talented. But he had another band that he was going to be putting out called Vimic, and it just never came to be. Sadly, Joey ended up passing away from heart complications, if I remember reading the news correctly. There was a lot of health issues he was having, and it all culminated and unfortunately took Joey. And I just want to say, hey, God, if you could send him back, and while you're at it, send back Dimebag Darrell, and don't take Ozzy, and I think we can call it even. Anyway, also send back Dio. Just send us back the good ones. Send us back Lemmy, Dio. Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. But Joey's family, they got funding together. Apparently it took them less than a day, which I'm not that surprised with how big us fans are when it comes to things. They did a crowdfunding to be like, hey, we want to release the album independently. We want to do it the way Joey would have if he were alive, but we can't do that if we have to go through someone else. Within 24 hours, I think it was less than that. I think it might have been just a couple hours. They went beyond the goal that they had set, which is amazing. I'm happy to hear. Honestly, I'm a little excited for it. Because I really, really enjoy Joey's drumming. I still go back and I'll find old videos of Joey on the drums. Like, the man was a genius. He was fucking amazing at what he did. So to know we're going to get the final things he was writing and producing before he passed away, it's pretty fucking neat, y'all. I think that's pretty fucking cool. Like, the last thing Joey ever did, we're finally going to hear it, and we're going to see what this might have been if things had gone differently. So anyway. Oh yeah, Code Red! Oh, this is a bad idea. So I got pulled up here. Cartoon Network cartoons. I've seen most of these, if not all the ones that they have listed here. Let me just double check. Yeah, I've seen all of these. I have opinions on all of these. And again, if you don't like the way I rank it, if you have an issue with it, if you have a problem with it, leave a comment. Let me know. Email us at oddcastmedia@gmail.com. Rip me a new one. I don't care. It's not going to change where I rank them, but you can feel free to let me know how much of an asshole I am and how I can go fuck myself. And I'll read it. Fuck, I'll read it on air. I don't give a fuck. I'm sitting in a chair naked right now, and you can't see me. So how about that? Yeah, you thinking about that now? You thinking about hot, sweaty balls on a leather chair? Well, you fucking better be, because here we go. So anyway, in this whole ranking, we'll start right at the bat. The Amazing World of Gumball. This came out in the later part of my childhood with cartoons. I wasn't particularly the biggest fan of it. I didn't get into it as much. I didn't think it was the worst thing ever. It had some jokes in there that I didn't mind. For me, I got to put it in the C. I'm sorry to all the huge Gumball. I can already see the fucking angry comments that are going to come in on that. I'm sorry. Gumball's a C for me. Suck my fucking dick. You know what? We'll go Powerpuff Girls. Now, Powerpuff Girls gets a little interesting. The original cartoon, top tier. It is a top tier. I don't fucking care. Yeah, I was a little boy watching Powerpuff Girls, but go fuck yourself, Mojo Jojo. Couldn't go wrong, all right? They had great villains. It was a fun time. It was a fun show. The reboot one they put out, I didn't enjoy as much. They lost the charm Powerpuff Girls had for me with the second show they tried to do. That's just me. But it looks like we're talking about the original Powerpuff Girl, so for that is an S tier. Like, Powerpuff Girls is such a good fucking show. It knew what it was doing back in the day, and it was so popular, they were almost going to make a CW show if it hadn't have, had so many goddamn issues. But that's how influential that fucking show was. So it's an S tier because it still fucking remains now. Misadventures of Flapjack. Let's go to this one. This fucking show. This show was... Have you ever been on Adult Swim? And back in the day, there was this little show called Super Jail. Misadventures of Flapjack are like Super Jail, but for kids. Where like, it's just the visual and story-wise, things are going to get really just fucked up and acid trippy. And you're just going to be there for the ride. Sorry. Sorry, clicking buttons. My bad. Clicking buttons. My apologies. I am clicking buttons. Oh, sorry. Okay. So, yeah, Flapjack, not a D. Sorry, I fucked around and clicked a button. Flapjack, I'm gonna put it in A. It wasn't my favorite cartoon, but I don't really have any problems with it. Flapjack's just fucking a weird ass cartoon. But that's, there's a lot of cartoons in here that are gonna get weird. So I still leave it at an A. Still enjoyed it. Ben 10, I hate to do this, and I can already see the hateful comments coming, and I'm sorry. The first Ben 10 series I was okay with. I was kind of okay with the things that came later. However, for whatever reason, of all the cartoons... Sorry, I need some Code Red. Oh, yeah. Ben 10 had so many fucking spin-offs and shit that it was doing that I stopped giving a shit because I didn't watch all of it. because of the shows that I know came after, I'm going to say a B. The first show I would mark more as an A, but the things that came later drag it down for me because a lot of it was continuations, and I didn't enjoy all the things that it ended up doing with itself. But it still gets, I say, a respectable B. It's still a respectable B. It's watchable. It's fine. There's so fucking much of it, and not all of it was good to me. Moving on, my gym partner is a monkey. If you don't know my gym partner is a monkey, let me tell you, it was an oddball idea that a kid he got suspended, he got like expelled from school, and he ended up changing to an animal school. And for somehow there's a school full of anthropomorphic animals, and he's the only human. That is the whole premise of that show. It's also going to go in B for me. I watched it. I didn't hate it. There was times I did find myself enjoying it, but there were times that it got a little annoying with Jake the monkey. I'm not going to lie. There were some times where some of the things that they would get up to annoyed me just a little bit. I'd still rather watch it over Gumball, and you can still suck my butthole on that. Moving on. Chowder. That's going to get an S. Chowder gets an S. See people, I can already see the rage building in some of you, and I love it. I'm living on it. I'm fucking hard right now. The rage. Sorry, let me get some Code Red. Okay. Calm my nerves down with a little bit of Code Red. Chowder is an amazing show. Chowder has a lot of very oddball things, and it's all like cooking and whatnot, but I enjoyed Chowder a lot. I watch Chowder all the time. Chowder will be an S tier for me. How are you going to go wrong with a rah? How are you going to go wrong with it? There's too many things to enjoy in that show. Johnny Bravo is going to go in C. And I know I can already see more comments with some of you older millennials being like, how dare you put Johnny Bravo? Johnny Bravo was good. Johnny Bravo was funny. It's fine. It's just Johnny Bravo as a whole. You can't watch a ton of episodes of Johnny Bravo because it's always the same thing of Johnny's trying to get some woman, but he's like an Adonis with the brain of a 2-year-old, so it does not work for him. And the premise gets old pretty quick, so I'm going to put him at a C. We're like, he's memorable. I've watched it growing up. I get it. As much as he's memorable for how he looks and acts, as a show, he's a C. It is a fucking C. I don't care. Johnny Test. This one's going to get me hate from Michael. Hi, Mike. I love you. I love you, bud. Johnny Test. I'm going to put it at either a B or an A. I'm sitting B or A with this one. I watched it. I didn't hate it. I know it has importance in cartooning itself for being done in Flash, and it was the first one to be done the way that it was. But I think I'm gonna go with an A. I'm trying to think how much I enjoyed it. Is it on the same level of these? I'm looking at the other cartoons on this list, and I know it's gonna be divided on people. Johnny Test, I'm gonna put it at a B. I'm sorry, Mike. I know you'd have it up here. Me personally, I'm putting it at a B, where it's a middle ground for me. I'm not gonna change the channel if it's on. I'll watch it, but I'm not gonna go out of my way to look for it. It's kind of where I sit with Johnny Test. Dexter's Lab is an A. I don't give a fuck. I grew up on so much fucking Dexter's Lab. I love the show. I used to annoy people all the time with Mandark. Ha 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 ha. I used to do the laugh and shit just all around to people. I used to annoy the shit out of people because I found it funny, and I still find this show enjoyable. So fuck you. It's an A. Total Drama as a series. Oh, this is where we get into the cringy with me, folks. I've been tempted to do a video with Jokey Pants Has Bad Taste talking about Total Drama because I have watched I watched about 90% of Total Drama, which is so fucking stupid because you're watching a reality show as a cartoon. but it still has some very adult themed things that go on in it, and I don't know how they air it half the time. With some of the things I've seen, especially Total Drama Island when it started, some of the jokes in there were straight up sex things about like somebody sleeping with someone else's girlfriend or boyfriend in the group, and I was just, younger mind didn't fully catch on, could kind of understand what they were getting at, and then you get older and watch it again, and you're like, oh, there were so many things like that just in this show. They really captured what a reality TV show is of any kind and turned it into a cartoon. It's gonna go in B for me. I enjoy the first like 2 or 3 seasons, and then it loses. I think it's the last season of this show. Didn't really get into anything past, I think honestly season 3 is where I started to drop off. Because I think season 3 is where they do the world race. And that's where I was like, no, I think I'm kind of over this now. Like, they're doing the greatest race, but total drama. But, like, bringing back the characters of season 1, 2, and also having some new ones, like, that's neat. But, like, a lot of the things you're doing, you already did story-wise in the first 2. So, so this is going to go in a B. But, like, to be honest, it was a guilty pleasure of mine through school, and I started rewatching it again to see if I would still enjoy it. Still enjoyed season 1 and 2. Still did. Still thinking I might do a little video on that at some point. Camp Laszlo, I'm going to put it at a C. And I know, again, there's going to be comments and people hating. This is all my personal taste and opinion. Camp Laszlo, there were things I remembered about it, but it was definitely one I didn't watch all the time, and I didn't go out of my way for it. I found it more annoying. It fell into the same category as my gym partners, with speaking of which, I think I'm actually going to move this one down, because both of those were in the same category for me. Where, like, typically if there was something else on I would watch, even if it was a rerun, I would change a channel for that versus either of those two. Oh, that fucking Code Red hitting, boy. Let's go with the obvious ones. And I say the obvious ones because if you know me, much like Mike and Anthony, when you watch back through this, you know me, you know where these are going to be ranked. So I'm not going to hold back anymore. Ed, and Eddie, Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, and Codename Kids Next Door are all in S tier. And if you disagree with that, you can 100% suck my fucking balls. All right, I want you to gargle my balls. All right, that's how I feel. Those 3 are S tier cartoons forever and fucking always. You understand? Ed, and Eddie had a start and ending, had a full start and ending, and the ending was even in a movie form for the first time ever for the Ed Boys. And the show is fucking amazing. I still go back and watch this show because it is fucking geniusly amazing. I've gotten to talk to Matt Hill, who plays Ed Boy right here. The big goofy oaf. I've talked to that guy. One of the nicest people I've ever met in my entire fucking life, and I'd love to be able to interview him again at some point, or have him on the show again for something. He was amazing. Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, you've heard me talk about horror, and you've heard me talk about the things that I enjoy, metal and whatnot. This was all of that as a kid's cartoon. It was fucking amazing. You had these dark, super cryptic fucking things going on with the Grim Reaper and demons and death and monsters. And it was all spun up into a very fucked up cartoon. And I still love it to this day. It is still, to me, one of the best cartoons that was ever made. Was right in these 3. Because then you go over to Codename Kids Next Door, and again, you had a start and an ending. Yes, the ending kind of led up to he was going to do a second series, and it fell through. But hey, even without the second series, you got to see the entire story play out for the whole entire, this team that you get to meet. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, you see their complete stories throughout this series. You see how they all grow as a character. It was amazing. To get to the ending, when you start with number 1 is just this, he's a little arrogant and he's a little unsure of himself at the same time being this leader of the kid group, but he's always got the best interests of everyone in mind. And you get up to the ending of this series and like he's been betrayed by people he thought he could trust in there that were like the older fucking agents, and like there were double agents, there were teenagers who were also still KND. There was all these things that happened, all to lead up to you see that number one is finally offered like a top leader position. And it was amazing to see that whole thing play out. It's fucking great. Fuck off. Regular show, I would put it at an S. I do enjoy it that much, but I will say an A. There's definitely some things that can get annoying about it, and I can admit that. But regular show was another one that I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know if I was going to enjoy it or not. I had seen commercials for it. And then when I finally saw an episode, I was like, this is my new show. This cartoon's fucking amazing. Adventure Time, I'm sorry, y'all. I know there's a lot of people who love Adventure Time. I can see the hate comments coming, and it's no offense to you. I just never got into Adventure Time. I know what Adventure Time is. I know the jokes. I know the things about it. Never fucking got into it. I never sat down and really watched it. Foster's Home is also a fucking S, and so is Courage. You know why? Because these cartoons fucking rock. You know what, Dexter's Lab? Yeah, you know what? Dexter's Lab is also going in an S. How about you suck my ass? These cartoons were all amazing. These all shaped my childhood in different ways. So go fuck yourself. Eat my balls. So yeah, that's my ranking. We're going to do another one. So we're going to take a short little break, and we'll be right back. Bye-bye now. But hey, stay tuned. Ha ha. Code Red. All right, and we're back. I picked out a new thing that's another short one, because it's going to be a short episode, just because I didn't have a whole lot to talk about, you know? But I want to thank all of you who have been listening, who do listen, who do watch. Seriously, in all honesty, dropping the Jokey Pants act. We do very much appreciate all of you, so we thank all of you. If you're viewing it, you're sharing it, you're listening, whatever. We appreciate you, especially those of you, if you're one of the other indie podcasts who share us and whatnot on Twitter and whatnot. Seriously, we appreciate you. We wouldn't exist if we didn't have people that were listening. So thank you very, 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 very much. Moving on, we're doing another list here. As you can see, well, you can't really see what it is, but there's only a couple of them, and it was hard to do. Anyway, I'm not explaining myself to you, you whores. Anyway, so we're talking about Quentin Tarantino films. I'm going to rank the Tarantino films that exist, because the Star Trek one we'll probably never get, because he was going to do it, and then they just said no. So we'll find out. Maybe one day they'll let an R-rated Star Trek happen, where he covers the wars and whatnot that he wanted to do. I think it would be a neat idea, seeing some of the history that has been talked about, not shown. I think it would be neat. But Star Trek doesn't really want to fuck with an R rating. So hey, man knows what he does, though. Sorry. So starting right off, we start right with Reservoir Dogs. Reservoir Dogs, I really enjoy this movie. This was Tarantino's first movie. It was the one that gave him, as Mike has said, blank check with certain people. He got blank checks because of this, because it was a very controversial movie that got a cult following and whatnot, but he did well enough on it, with enough big-name people like Steve Buscemi, that he was able to do a lot more. So, but I'm going to put Reservoir Dogs as a B, which is controversial. Some people would put that as an S and say, why are you putting it at a B? I put it as a B because compared to some of the other movies he would do later, the story he was telling works well in another movie he did later, but I can see the inklings of what would become out of this, and it is still a movie that I very much enjoy. What's wrong with Mr. Pink? He doesn't tip. I don't believe in it. I think you should have to work for all your money. I shouldn't have to pay you. I shouldn't be paying you extra. I didn't do the dishes for you. You should... Nah, I'm not tipping. And it's like a whole thing, and it's like, why am I Mr. Pink? You're Mr. Pink because I said you're Mr. Pink. You got a problem with that? I don't want to be Mr. Pink. Anyway, getting carried away. I do enjoy Reservoir Dogs. Going after that, we're going to go down the list here. We got Pulp Fiction. Pulp Fiction I put as an S. I know there's people who would probably switch that around. They'd put Pulp Fiction in like an A or a B and Reservoir Dogs at an S. I don't give a shit. This is my personal opinion. Pulp Fiction is like what he was doing with Reservoir Dogs, but on a bigger scale. And it works out much, much better here. Again, still love Reservoir Dogs. Think it's great. But Pulp Fiction, the way it bounces around in its story, he took like the general idea here and made a really great story there. Love Pulp Fiction. It's one of the few John Travolta movies I can say is in my favorites of movies. Just because mainly I don't know a lot of John Travolta movies, and some of the ones he was in earlier on. And I know you're going to say, but he was in Grease. I don't fucking watch Grease. I'm pretty clear on this podcast that musicals are not really my thing, and I hated Grease growing up, and I still don't like it. And if you don't appreciate or like that, I don't care. This is the Jokey Pants Hour. Anyway, moving on down the list, we got Jackie Brown, which is a movie that not many people know about, but I will put Jackie Brown as an A. Jackie Brown is also another really... I enjoy all these movies. I'm not going to, I just do. But Jackie Brown, I didn't know about till later. But this was another, oddball of his movies, much like Reservoir Dogs. But it was just kind of an oddball idea, threw it in there, got Samuel L. Jackson in it. It's a fun time. The movie's also a pretty interesting one. But again, it has some rough editing. Actually, now that I'm speaking about it, I will put Jackie Brown at the B and Reservoir Dogs as an A. This one has story issues. Jackie Brown... When I watched Jackie Brown the first time, there are some issues in the way the story plays out that I have more issue when I'm watching it than I do with Reservoir Dogs, so I will actually switch that. Jackie Brown is my B. Kill Bill Volume 1, I will put on B. And I know there's going to be a ton of people that are like, you're so fucking wrong. Here's the thing. Part 2, I put it on an S. All right? Part 1 has a lot of memorable shit, yes. Part 2 had a great finale to the whole thing. I enjoy both of them. You know what? I'll just go like this. To be completely honest, it's more of like an AS. Part 1, I really do still enjoy. But Part 2, goddamn. Part 2 really cranks some things up, and you get a conclusion to the story. I enjoy Part 2. It's been a while since I watched them, so they might actually be the other way around. It's been a minute. I know what they both are. Don't get me wrong. I've watched them a lot. I just haven't refreshed myself before doing this because these are also all really long movies, so I didn't get time to do that. Yeah, that's where I fell with that. Planet Terror, I'm going to put on B. It's the least watched one for me, and that's not because I don't enjoy it or whatever. It's just, it's not one that I've seen as much as any of these other ones. I've literally seen all these other movies more than I've seen Death Proof and the whole spiel there, the Planet Terror Death Proof. So I apologize, but Death Proof goes on a B. I should probably rewatch it because I've heard people talking about it that they enjoyed it more going back to it. Maybe I'd actually really enjoy it and it would be higher on my ranking, but as it stands, I set it at a B. Inglourious Bastards is a fucking S tier. If you don't think Inglourious Bastards is an S tier, get the fuck out of this episode. Why are you even listening? Are you kidding me? The casting in this movie is amazing. I enjoy I fucking love this goddamn movie. You can't beat the fucking opening of Inglourious Bastards. With just that intense interrogation about, does there any juice? You can't beat the tension. The tension in that scene, fucking amazing. And that's how he opened the fucking movie. Movie's great. And then you end up getting to Eli Roth and Brad Pitt's characters with their platoon hunting Nazis and their whole scheme. I love the movie. Inglourious Bastards up there. Django I also put on an S. Here's the thing. I get why many of you don't watch Django or watched it once and were like, I'm never watching it again. I get it. The N-word is said a lot. I get why it makes you uncomfortable and it's hard to watch. However, despite that, I fucking love the story of Django. Good Western movies, in my opinion, are hard to beat. And Django takes spaghetti Western and puts the Tarantino twist into it. And I love it, where all the action's over the top. There's a lot of swearing and cussing and things. But and especially, how the fuck can you not watch it with DiCaprio? As the plantation owner that he is, just the way he is as that character, fucking great balance between him and Mike, and You got Jay Fox in there. You got fucking DiCaprio and oh, I'm gonna draw a blank on his name, and everyone's gonna hang me in the comments. And I'm sorry, but the German actor there from Inglourious Bastards. But anyway, the combination, they are all fucking great. They blend well together. They fucking are amazing. Love Django. Hateful Eight, I'm going to again put it at a B. Here's the thing. Hateful Eight had an amazing fucking cast. Again, his casting is always fucking amazing. You had Walton Goggins. You had the Goggins in there before the Goggins was a big thing. You got fucking Samuel L. Jackson. You've got fucking son of a bitch. You get my point. And my brain is not working right. I think the Code Red's doing the opposite of what I thought it would do for me. But regardless, I enjoy Hateful Eight. It has a great cast as always. But my problem with Hateful Eight, it's too fucking long. It's a very, very slow burn, long as fuck movie that just has the Tarantino stuff in it. You know, the swearing or like controversial this or that. It has the Tarantino edge on it. It is just such a long, slow burned movie to get into what is actually happening that most people I know have not watched it or tried to and fell asleep, which is 100% understandable because nothing happens in that movie. Like the first half of that movie, nothing's fucking happening and it's over 2 hours long. So for an hour and something minutes, there's not really anything going on. You're getting an idea for characters, and that's it. And then things happen, and you're like, oh, it took way too long to get here. And it's like, yeah, this was a Tarantino one where he definitely could have done some cutting. And it's worse because he made an extended director's cut that adds like an extra 40 minutes, and it's like, it's an extra hour, like 40 minutes to an hour that like the movie didn't really need, or even some scenes you could have just taken from this, put it in the normal one, and it would have been perfect. But that brings me to my last point. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I put as F. And there's going to be people that are going to yell at me. They're like, look how many memes have come out of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood with Brad Pitt fighting the Manson people. And it's like, yeah, you know what? That's really cool. You know when that happens? Because clearly you haven't watched the movie and only know the memes. That's another movie, much like Hateful Eight, that's over 2 hours long. And that little bit that gets memed all the time and put everywhere, that's in the last 30 minutes of that whole movie. So for the last 30 minutes of the movie, yeah, you get Brad Pitt and DiCaprio fucking up the Manson gang as they mistake him for Sharon Tate. But that's in the last 30 minutes. But what's in the rest of the 2 hour long movie? Absolutely fucking nothing. It's a movie that you could watch if you're into like a serious drama, because the 2 hours that are the rest of that movie is just DiCaprio struggling with being a declining aged actor, where like he's aged out of his action roles and people don't want to cast him in things, and he doesn't want to be in the movie he's in, but he's struggling because he wants to be an actor, but he doesn't like this. And Brad Pitt has a troubled past where he may be or may not have killed a guy and became a stuntman to cover, start a new life, and has trouble. And then they run into the Mansons, and you think that would be interesting. But it's fucking not, because it's just that the young girls try to hit on Brad Pitt, and Brad Pitt calls them out of like, you're really young, huh? And they show you the Mansons are out of place, and then they're not important really again till the ending, and that's it. I didn't like Once Upon a Time. It's the only movie out of his that I like. I genuinely didn't really like it. I liked the last 30, 40 minutes when shit hits the fan and something actually fucking happens in this movie. But then the rest of it is not Scarlett Johansson, but oh fuck my life. The actress who played Barbie. Sorry, again, my brain's not here. But her playing Sharon Tate was the other big portion of that movie where there's nothing really happening. It's just, this is what Sharon Tate was probably doing. And this is an alternate universe where Sharon Tate didn't get brutally murdered, and instead they got murdered by these guys. And I'm like, Tarantino, it's an interesting thing, but man, I would have just focused more on like the Manson aspect and then, work that better into this story with the actors of like how they could have crossed paths, because it's such a drag of a movie, and I hate to say it, but that's how I feel. And that's my official ranking on the Tarantino movies. If you don't like it or disagree with it, whatever, leave a comment. Email us, oddcastmedia@gmail.com, or whatever. Alright, I don't make the rules, I don't do things, so... But anyway, that's everything I had. We'll catch you on 296 when I have Mike and Anthony back, and we'll be talking about digging them holes, yeah! Digging them holes, yeah! Sorry, that comes over me whenever I think about that movie. But we'll be talking about holes. So make sure to tune in for that. And some other things that may or may not have happened. I've had a lot of messages of things. But until then, check us out on TikTok at What an Oddcast. Check us out on YouTube, which if you are already, thank you. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, whatever the hell, all that stuff. Share us around. But we love you. Stay odd, stay happy. Make the best trades of any trade possible. Goodbye, we love you.